or if we do hide the clouds, we still get that blue color in the background. So we're going to be able to assess how our particles are working on a good close color representation of that BG sky layer. So everything's working okay now. What I'm also going to do is just hide these reference. We don't actually need them visible because we're going to be using them as emitters in particular, and they don't need to be physically visible in the comp. So we're just going to hide them, and that's going to help us when we're going to do a little bit of color treatment on the plane, which we might go ahead and do now. So I'll bring up my effects control. I'm just going to hit that plane layer. I'm going to right click and bring up color correction and tint. And that just, I'll just slide in a little bit here. That takes all the color out of our plane there. And if I wind that down to 0, it brings it all back. But what we want to do is wind it up to 100, use the map white to, and just click with the eyedropper on our background color here, which is a color that we know exists in the sky. Do the same for the black. And you'll notice that our plane disappears. But if we click on that color swatch now for black and just bring it down into the black a little bit more, just deepen that color. It's still in the same color spectrum but deeper. Something like that is fine. And in the light settings, just ramp that up just a little bit, but still in that same color spectrum, and go okay. And now we're just going to bring down the color value of that tint, the amount of tint. About there is fine, and you'll see that it's quite a difference for as far as believability of that element. That's really too dark. You wouldn't see shadows that dark in a sky that's sort of getting so much bounce light up off the planet's surface and clouds all around it. So by adding this tint, we're just getting something that's a little bit more believable there. Just come down a little bit more. I think about 35 is a good amount. And that's it for creating that color correction for our jet. So we can go ahead and start building some of these particle elements. But before we do, before it gets too confusing in the comp, let's go ahead and set up our sky. So we've got our background sky in there already, and we're just going to leave that hidden for now. We're going to go to our project window. We're going to bring our layers down into the comp. We're going to bring them in order. So we've got 1, 2, and 3. We'll bring them down on top of that cloud background. And just so, and notice that they've flipped around in order. So just